Welcome, honored patrons. Please take your seats as we invite you to enjoy Cascade's Theatrical Company's production of Revenge and Sorrow in Thebes. After a long separation due to the recent plague, we are pleased to open our doors to the public. As a warning to our gentler guests, note that there is the use of a fog machine during the show, as the goddess Chaos could not be persuaded to visit. Also, please silence your cell phones now and prepare yourself for a journey back to ancient Greece.
Who are you? What brings you to this wretched place?
Are you not pleased to see me?
The young king does not care for your kind. He has put a curse on the ivy you wear.
Has he?
He will bind you up in chains. He is fond of chains.
Who are you?
You do not recognize me. I am Dionysus, blessed son of Zeus and Semele, fostered by the nymphs and purified in the rites in Phrygia. My name caresses the lips of virgins, and diamonds fall from their mouths. The dark grape desires nothing more than to burst forth at the sound of my voice.
Dionysus, it cannot be.
Dionysus, free us. We grow weary of waiting.
And I, too, am weary. I have returned to Thebes, to the womb of my mother, Semele. Her embers still seethe with life, yet I hear that they shun her, trip on her blackened limbs, and ignore her cries of false. False is the city that treads on my heart and calls me whore. Your young, impotent king seeks to defile my mother's honor. But I tell you now, they who do not acknowledge me will know true sorrow and beg to be released from their torment. It will pursue them without remorse, without hesitation, to the darkest corners of Hades until they know my name.
Dionysus, why so cross?
Tiresias, it is good to see you embrace the god.
I honor the son of Zeus and Semele.
Your young king does not.
He is newly come to the throne. Those who have his ear lead him far from us.
He will not listen to the voice of a prophet. You advised proud Cadmus wisely. Why does his spawn not take heed?
Why does a bird sing in the morning? Why do the clouds move across the sky?
Do not mock me.
Then do not ask me such ridiculous questions.
Cadmus should not have stepped down. It was he that kept my mother's memory sacred.
Dionysus,
Forgive us.
Oh, making new friends, I see.
Set us free from this cursed city. Elysium calls for us.
You will have your freedom. But I need you to be my eyes and ears here. Bear secrets to me that pass on the wind.
You have brought friends? I must warn you, King Pentheus has declared
Pentheus?
that.
A befitting name. His every breath must be filled with sorrow. Have you not warned him about the vengeance of a god?
My voice does not carry like I used to.
Many of us thought Athena was cruel to take your sight. Her gift of prophecy, even more so.
What I cannot see, I cannot fear. The sight brings both joy and pain to these ramshackle bones.
Then come, old man. Walk with me, and I will tell you stories that will soothe your tired mind.
He has promised. Do you think he will keep it?
He will keep it.
I think he is not here for us.
Then why has he come?
For Thebes, he wants to tear down the house of Cadmus.
Dionysus! He was here! Semele's ashes are still warm from his touch. Dionysus! Come to us. Our arms long to hold you and our hands to sweep the ground at your feet. No sharp stone shall pierce your sweet golden skin, Bromius. Has he left us? He wouldn't leave us. You there, cursed sister, have you seen our Dionysus? He will come. Dionysus, God of all things bountiful and bursting with sweetness. Our hearts decay without your touch. Dionysus, lover of peace and beauty. Friend to all animals and men. Hear our call. When the earth is swollen with the pregnant seed, there is our Dionysus. When the rivers run rich with silver salmon and oyster pearls, Dionysus is there too. In the heavy womb of the south, Dionysus lives there. He cannot be denied his rightful due. Where he walks, flowers rise to his call. Our libation, his dessert. The cup and tiny egg are his children to tend. Oh, Dionysus, your name is love. Sweeter than honey, sweeter than wine.
Tiresias, Cadmus has summoned. Ah!
Any sign of them?
Yeah, they're hiding behind that tree over there.
How many are there?
You fool, they have gone into the hills.
Are we to follow?
Those are our orders,
But
But what? Coward! They're a bunch of women who have consumed too much wine.
they've set up these armies of men and ripped through their bodies.
I'll rip through your body if you do not cease such foolishness. The king will have you whipped for fearing these women more than his wrath.
I never said I feared them, but you've heard the same stories as I. If Pentheus does not fear them, then why do we pursue them?
Because, you slow-witted cur, these foreign women are defiling our soil.
Ah, fine warriors of Thebes. What invisible enemy are we chasing after today?
Blind Tiresias. Out for a stroll, are we? Is this your new woman?
If I say yes, you will only try to steal her. Has your prey eluded you once again?
It is none of your concern, old man. Be on your way.
Pentheus not joining in your great hunt?
You know he will not sanction this new practice. These women debase themselves with wine and call it a god.
Ah, yes. Women will say anything when wine has trapped their tongues. Sometimes they may even say the truth you do not like to hear.
So, you speak for these women whose presence offends the king.
Their presence offends no one.
That's blasphemy!
Prophet, Pentheus has ordered us to arrest these women and anyone else caught debasing themselves with a Phrygian sorcerer.
A Phrygian sorcerer in Thebes?
I know you're not as thick as you pretend.
You go too far, Veronicus. Do not insult an agent of the gods.
I will insult whoever I like. Now mind your rancor. If you would rather be dancing with the women, it can be arranged.
Enough! There's enough sorrow in Thebes without you two adding your share.
Then tell us, old man, what you know of this impostor. It is said he dresses and preens like a woman and insists he is a god. Pentheus will not be lenient if this impostor is found to be in your house.
Leave him be.
He has helped the women escape.
Get a hold of yourself. You demean our position. Pentheus trusts this man.
The king trusts no one but his own sound judgment.
And that of a few baboons.
Ha! There, you heard that!
Leave him, I said. Go back and tell the king we have seen the women and are pursuing them. Now push on. I will make amends.
Fine thing for an old blind man to get the finest women in Thebes.
Humble apologies, prophet. His mind is quick to anger.
Too much wine, or not enough of it.
Pentheus recently demoted him.
So our king has not completely lost his senses.
But it's this latest vengeance I don't understand. The women are entitled to their rights. Pentheus should just sanction the rites. Apollo will still have a sacrifice.
But you're speaking rationally. Pentheus must be seen in control. Otherwise, he will have no throne to sit on. Forgive me, I speak too hastily. It is my age, you see, stirs the brain into chaos.
I must take my leave. Veronicus, no doubt, will be offering you up as a sacrifice this year. I do beg your forgiveness of what has transpired. You have the ear of the gods.
Do not worry, your name will not be corrupted.
Many thanks. Apollo's blessings on you both.
Oh, if you could see how they find their way to my door so easily. Pentheus dishonors them. The heart of Thebes yearns for me.
Everyone yearns for you.
Dionysus, we are ready.
Is it time?
Even the dead.
That guard, he could have been a good one for us.
No, Terrace comes from a good family. Best to leave him to his own destiny.
Where does Cadmus stand? Does he support his beloved grandson?
Cadmus has given the city his lifeblood. Proud as he is, he would not want to see Thebes suffer at the hands of an angry god.
Yet he does not speak against Pentheus.
You cannot force him to choose.
Then bring him to meet me.
I will suggest it. Pentheus is fair, but do not seek to deceive him in this. Your quarrel is not with him.
What say you, ancestors of Greece?
Our course is set.
Nothing more holds us here.
Our fee has been paid. 100 years served instead of coin.
That was the promise.
The ferryman will hold your place. I know you have heard of the ill desires this insult of a king seeks to carry out against me. If he succeeds, you will forever remain at the edge of the river, barred from Elysium.
He cannot succeed against a god.
Olympus will not allow it.
He is here! We searched for you everywhere. We thought you had left us.
But you always knew you would find me.
We have been pursued by many, but we outran them easily enough. They're still there now, running in circles. What else do you wish of us?
To be at peace.
But we are only at peace when we are one with you.
Then you must be at peace.
Then do not leave our side.
Daughter of Cadmus.
Proud mother to the king.
The ivy. It was not there yesterday.
How can this be?
We must get rid of it quickly before the king sees it.
I do not have my shears. You must go and fetch them. Fetch them now, or we'll be dead soon.
Oh. I cannot fetch the shears as he is coming.
Now? We must try to pull it up by the root, or it will grow back.
If I were to take a Thessalian bride, it would secure us the finest breeding stock. Athens would have no choice but to buy their horses from Thebes.
Then you go to Thessaly. Take what you need. It is simple. I will go.
No, Bacchus. I am well aware of your tactics. I would prefer my bride to be a willing participant.
I would suggest the house of Aelued. They have but one daughter, so you will have to make the family an exceptional offer. Soon, before the whole of Attica makes a bid for her.
True. The Aelued are the wealthiest. I will not take a bride from elsewhere.
I have been told that her father is on his way to Athens. Offer him land here, and I'm sure he will listen to your request. Our intentions are just. Let us first seek guidance from Apollo. Perhaps we can send an offering to Delphi. Tiresias could go.
I cannot send him that far. His health is fading.
Send your mother.
My mother would move in with the oracle if she had her way. No, in this matter, Apollo's priests will suffice. Let us seek their counsel.
Well, decide to welcome Dionysus after all, Pentheus.
Do not be absurd. You know my mind in this.
Well, then what is the ivy for?
Which of you has done this? You! How dare you mock my decree?
Pardon my...
I gave orders that this abomination was not to be encouraged.
But sir...
I provided you with coin and shelter, and this is how you repay me?
Forgive us.
Cut it down! Get rid of it. Burn it outside the city. You are spared of whipping today, seeing as there is no one here to do it.
They are gone. What have you done? You will be whipped for that.
I can only be whipped if you open your mouth. He fancies himself a married man. I pity his poor bride to have a hand raised to her on her wedding night.
He was right, though we were inattentive.
You may be, but not I.
What are you saying? I do my job as well as you.
If you did, then you would have caught me.
You? You did this? You put the ivy up? We could have been sliced open there and then.
What of it? Thebes is dying anyway.
Do not say that.
If it isn't, then why seek out a foreign bride? We have such beauties here that are blessed by Aphrodite. He would do more honor to take one of them and breed fine, strong sons.
Why did you do it?
I am too old to take part, but that does not mean I cannot welcome the god.
You cannot do that!
I can. This is all we have of the god. We are not allowed at the temples, but this is for us. The ivy grows free wherever it chooses, something we will never know until we are dead. It sets us free in our hearts, and that is why our young king will not have it. Dionysus feeds our flesh with his love, and for a while we are at one with the god. No temple, not a drop of our blood spilled to comfort the elite. Do you understand this? Demetria, girl, what has happened?
I saw them, the foreign women.
Did you join them?
No. Agave, they have her. Where's Pentheus? I must tell him of this horrible thing.
Child, do not busy yourself with the task. You need to rest. I will go.
But he will punish me. He will think I took her there.
Agave will speak for you.
Agave will speak for no one. If she is at one with the god, she will be with him until he is finished with her.
What should we do?
We wait. Perhaps it will pass. The king is in a foul mood anyway. Best not to push it further. It is good you have come to us first.
Will I be whipped? If I'm to be whipped, please let it be Apollo. He is old and does not strike too hard.
He cannot whip you if he has no reason to.
We must warn Tiresias and Cadmus. Perhaps they can rescue her.
In time. But first you must go to my quarters. No one must see you, or they will ask for her. Stay there until dark. Honored prophet, it is good to see you.
Well, at least someone has a kind word for me.
Have you been treated poorly of late?
Nothing I could not handle. What news is there? There is a touch of fear in the air. What new law has Pentheus decreed now?
His temper grows vile. There is no softness in his eyes. He thinks to take a foreign bride.
A new bride, eh? Has Lycos managed to abduct one yet, without starting a war in the whole of Boeotia?
They are at the temple now to seek guidance from Apollo. They'd do better to call on Aphrodite, but she would do well not to listen. I speak out of turn. Too many good years under Cadmus's rule, but now I must go and prepare dinner. Will you take some? Cadmus was seeking you. He sent a messenger to find you.
I must have missed him. Poor lad is probably having a bath with the nymphs of Kithaeron by now.
Ah, the mighty gates of the palace of Pentheus! And I had thought that they were going to be bigger. And what's this? Ivy? Could it be the iron will of the whelp is bending?
He means to take a bride soon.
I was a bride once.
A bride from where? What king would wish his daughter to suffer such a fate?
He takes the bride, and his seed will sit on the throne.
Yes, unfortunate that would be.
His mother has called out to you.
It is easy for the women. They understand. I am not an unjust God, and I will not allow this child king to overrule our needs. Is this how he does it? I, Dionysus, son of Zeus and Semele, decree that all women of Thebes shall find a sacred place with me in the mountains of Kithaeron. Go now from your oppressive husbands and drudgery. Take to the hills and speak my name. You will be granted freedom and true pleasure. Nothing much to it, is there? Shouting loudly, pointing a finger, insisting obedience. When and where? Yes, it feels comfortable. This control. Something for the mortals to strive for. Let us see where it takes us.
Called out for him. My wife left the house. Given birth last week, and today she tore the babe from her breast, laid it in its crib, and left.
Mine too, while she was weaving. If the attendants had not held the loom down, she would have upturned it easily enough.
King Pentheus! Come out and hear our pleas! There is chaos in Thebes!
Tiresias, where is King Pentheus?
I am not the king's keeper. Why do you ask?
All the women in the city have fled toward Kithaeron. I have 3 children at home, and one is still nursing.
Perhaps you should treat her better.
It is not that, you old fool. It's not 1 or 2, but dozens. Hundreds, maybe, tearing at their dresses, running at speeds faster than a horse. Just before sunrise, I saw them racing through the city. My wife followed them, nearly tearing my arm off when I tried to stop her.
It's not natural.
What do you think the king can do about it?
That is why we are here. If not Pentheus, then wise Cadmus will attend, will he not?
He will be as perplexed as I at this sudden event.
But who's to help us end this madness? I cannot nurse a child.
Oh, gentlemen, calm yourselves. You're just as bad as your wives. You are the ones who are trusted to be in control. Shall it be proclaimed that the men of Thebes are nothing more than a herd of pubescent girls?
Do not dishonor us in this hour of chaos, old man. We wait for the guidance of the king, and we will have it.
Is this the work of the foreign god? Why does Pentheus not accept him, so that our wives and daughters can be returned to us, and we can be spared this humiliation?
You there, wealthy merchant. It is said you do not allow your workers any wine to release the burdens of their service to you.
And who are you, stranger, to judge me?
A spokesman for the god you seek.
Ha! I seek no one.
Ah, but you seek your wife and daughter. You seek a slave girl's warm belly in the heat of the night, and you say you do not seek.
I seek the favor of the gods. And what god would send neither a woman nor a man to give us their counsel?
You insult me. You insult the god.
The gods bless us with success, and we will not be shamed for it. What god is this that would chastise us for walking on their path?
Our rites follow the decree of Olympus. You would have us stray from that path and bring down the wrath of the gods?
I tell you now, the wrath you will suffer at my god's hand will be unrelenting in its course.
Why do you wish this wrath upon us? What say you about this, Tiresias?
It breaks my heart to hear your anger soiling the house of Cadmus.
Will you not denounce the stranger, then?
I denounce no one. I advise you to weigh your words carefully before you go too far. For if he is, as he says, a spokesman for his god, then surely your unkind words will be your undoing.
What have you done to them, Tiresias?
It is not I that have stayed their tongues.
Why have they gathered here?
Ask them yourself. I'm tired of addressing them.
Respected men of Thebes, what draws you here and away from your work?
Cadmus, long has it been since I stood in this place and uttered your great name.
Why do you call out to me now? I am no longer your king.
Surely you know what's happened this day.
I am uninformed. What tragedy has befallen you?
Our wives and daughters have left the city and fled into the hills, led by some vile desire for debauchery.
They debase themselves and us, forsaking Apollo. He will punish us.
They forsake nothing of the kind. Do not judge them out of your ignorance.
Is this true?
It appears Dionysus has come to Thebes.
Dionysus?
Is Dionysus the god for whom you speak?
One and the same.
Then it is he who have sent our women from the hearth into the hills in such a frenzy. Why would he have them abandon their duties? What of the newborn babes and the meals that grow too cold to eat? We are to return home to nothing? Is this what your god wishes upon us?
Why have these things happened to us?
Go and ask your king.
This is unjust. We have done nothing to offend the gods nor your god.
It is in doing nothing that a god can be offended.
Do not riddle with us, stranger.
I, for one, will go seek out Pentheus. He will not allow us to suffer this any longer.
And you, merchant, have you no course to follow?
I'm of the mind that your god is punishing us ignorantly, and I'm making a plea for him to cease.
A plea, not a sacrifice?
What else would he have as sacrifice? Our reputations are diminished, our women are cavorting with whatever demons are in the hills, and our children are suffering. And we've not yet been told what we've done to offend your god.
Then go follow the others and ask your king.
I'm asking you.
You acknowledge my god, then?
If it means having my reputation and my family back, then yes, I will acknowledge your god. This Dionysus, you say, brings peace?
Yes.
And how do I give honor and sacrifice to Dionysus?
You already have. This you do to honor Dionysus.
This is not honoring. This is sweet pleasure. The nectar is pure ecstasy. If this is all that Dionysus demands, I will sacrifice every day of my life. juice soothes me. I can feel it seeping into my arms and legs, rushing freely to those places that have been deserted for far too long.
Does Dionysus have any quarrel with me?
Have you given a reason?
Why has he come?
For Thebes.
I am of Thebes, therefore the quarrel includes me.
You no longer sit on its throne.
Dionysus would welcome the destruction of his mother's home? I loved my daughter. Semele was the light in my eye. The blood of Thebes courses through our veins. Without it, we cannot survive. Pentheus is headstrong. You cannot persuade an acorn that has embedded itself in the edge of a cliff to grow anywhere else but there.
Until the ground shakes and releases the cliff.
What would you have me do? I cannot embrace one grandson whilst betraying the other.
Poor Cadmus, a once fearless heart now cleft in two.
Burdened once again with the yoke of government.
We must find a way to stop this.
I have it on good authority that King Dionysus is prepared to offer Delphi 100 bowls and his daughter's weight in gold.
You won't get much for her, seeing as she is rumored to only eat nuts and berries.
We must not be frugal in our offering to the Pythia. Thebes must be seen to take the lead in this.
King Pentheus!
Veronicus, I did not send for you.
The foreign women you seek. We caught up with them.
You have done this? Perhaps I underestimated you. This is excellent news. Have them bound and whipped and paraded through the streets, then exile them back to the Phrygian caves they crawled out of. What are you waiting for? Carry out my orders.
I cannot.
You seek to be demoted again? Or perhaps you would prefer death?
They evaded capture.
How is that possible? A group of intoxicated women against my warriors of Thebes? I am not hearing this.
It was not like that, my king.
Oh, I see. And how was it then, Veronicus?
I believe they were given aid.
Given aid? By whom? I decreed anyone assisting them would be arrested and hung from the gate. Who has given him aid?
The prophet, Tiresias.
You are mistaken. Tiresias would not betray me in this.
Forgive me, but I am sure of this. I followed the women and they led me straight to him. He has taken the ivy upon him. I questioned him about it, but he will not denounce the rites.
Old fool! You are sure of this? For too long I trusted his words. My grandfather argued that I should, insisting his wisdom is a gift of Athena. He walks with ease in my palace, a token of my generosity, but now, to find that all the while he was hobbling deceitfully along the corridors, turning the city against me.
Pentheus, perhaps it is not as it seems.
Are you suggesting your king is plagued by uncertainty?
No, Pentheus.
Silence! Get out of my sight. Both of you have become too familiar. Veronicus, I am reinstating you to your former position. Arrest Tiresias. Let him spend the night chained to the comfort of a stone bed.
King Pentheus, a word.
What now?
Our women have left.
That is none of my concern. Do not peddle your pathetic complaints to me.
My king, all the women in his city have fled into the hills. It is said that you're joining with the Phrygian women and the god Dionysus. A priest of the god is at the palace. Can you not sanction these rites so that our women can be returned to us? It would do no harm.
I should cut the tongue out of your mouth. I am king and I will decide for Thebes. Does no harm. You would have it known to the world that Thebes lets its women run naked in the hills, crawling in and out of the undergrowth, seeking a man to defile themselves with? I will not have it. These rites disgrace the gods, and it is up to me to repair the rift. I will not have this vile stain in Thebes spread any further. Guards! Take 50 men and go back up to Kithaeron. I want the women arrested in whatever state you find them. And find this lover of Aphrodite, the boy they refer to as Dionysus. Bind him and have him brought to me, along with his priest. This is how you rule the kingdom, cousins. Take note, lest you forget upon waking tomorrow.
Let him go alone on this one. Perhaps it will be better for us to wait and see how this plays out.
True, brother. You do not want the wrath of Olympus on our heads.
What fool's errand has Cadmus sent you in here for?
He has asked to see you. Shall I send him away?
No. Let him wait. You were with Veronicus? On Kieron?
Yes, my king, I was.
What did you see?
See, I saw the prophet.
So he was there with the women?
No, the women had gone past.
I see, so he kept you from pursuing them?
No, he
engaged you in conversation in regards to the women?
Only briefly.
But it prevented you from carrying out my orders.
He did not interfere.
You told him you were pursuing the women by my decree, and he kept you from arresting them by distracting you with conversation, did he not?
It was not a distraction. We had stopped as they were too far ahead. Tiresias happened to be there. I didn't see him with any of the women.
Veronicus says the prophet spoke in favor of the women. Did he do this?
It was not in favor.
No? How did he speak then?
He said their presence offends no one.
And you believe him?
Believed him? No.
Do you believe they offend no one?
I believe in the gods, if that's what you're asking.
That is not what I'm asking. I want to know if you believe their presence offends no one.
No.
Then why did you not come straight to me? Do you sympathize with the prophet or his Phrygian cohort?
No. I'm Apollo's servant. Your servant.
Good. Then you will carry out the rest of my orders.
Yes, my king.
There are no other gods but those which Thebes serves. I am Thebes, therefore it falls to me to be the champion of Olympus against false prophets. Tomorrow, you will bind Tiresias to 4 horses. Decorate them in the guise of the gods he has chosen to defy, so that each may receive their offering. These are my orders. Are they clear to you? Good. Make sure this news reaches the shepherds on Kithron. Perhaps this will stir the Phrygian to make an appearance. Step aside. Out of my way. Do you not know who I am? What is the matter with you, boy?
I have permission.
Let me pass! What have you done, Pentheus, to arrest an old man and take last years of his life and accuse him of such atrocity? Or is this another plot from your 2 jewels of Euboea? I told you, Lycus and Nycteus came to Thebes with blood-stained hands. I advised you not to trust them.
I have witnesses.
Is that what you call them? One who seeks advancement at any cost, another from whom you coerce some twisted confession. You do these things because you are afraid. I was the same once. You are the son of Echion. You have the blood of the dragon. You are better than this. Tiresias is old. He has seen much of life. The young men do not understand him. They misconstrue his words. He has never betrayed you. I beg you, do not follow this course you are on. It will bring destruction upon us.
The only destruction is the offense to Olympus this has caused.
Pentheus.
Enough! I no longer require or need your counsel in matters of state.
Pentheus, please. Pentheus, by the gods, do not make this choice. Plotting again, are we?
Uncle, you're mistaken.
Why would you doubt our loyalty?
You both supported Pentheus in his decision to arrest Dionysus.
In truth, we did not.
I did question it, but was asked to leave. And now we are as you find us. Two men deciding our future.
Well, then perhaps you can decide to persuade your cousin to release him. It will not erase past transgressions, but the gods may see it as a step forward.
We welcome this new god Dionysus, but we cannot convince Pentheus to do the same.
When the climate is cooled, we will approach him again and hope that he receives us in good faith.
You have not wronged him or Thebes. Our blood binds us to the house of Cadmus.
Well, little good it will do you if there's none of it left by morning.
Cadmus, forgive me for intruding.
Only if you bring glad tidings. Just as I thought. What sad news do you bring?
What I'm about to tell you I have kept from the king.
Well, knowing his state of mind, you have chosen correctly.
Demetria returned today after a walk with Agave. She said Agave has joined the Phrygian women.
Oh, she is safe. The god will not harm her.
So it's true then, Dionysus is a god. Many have said he's good for Thebes. What do you think?
That I have wronged my daughter's Semele's honor by not embracing him sooner. Now I see the error of my ways, and it is too late.
Cadmus, father of Thebes, I bring word of the women on Kithaeron.
What kind of news?
May I speak freely, my king?
I am no longer king here. Do not address me as such.
Forgive me then. I am of the old Thebes, though still loyal to your fair reign.
Good shepherd, it is I who must apologize for my harsh words. What news have you?
Miracles, sir. These women on Kithaeron perform great deeds of strength and wonder. Their gods thrive in the very sinews of their muscles, and the ground swells wherever they cast their gaze upon it. I had been grazing my flock on the east side of Kithaeron when I realized I was short two. A mother and her new lamb. My son was helping me. He stayed put while I retraced the track through the dense groves. But as I walked, I noticed something was different. The air was sweeter, and I could hear music, faint-like, but it was there. So I decided to investigate. Treading softly in case I startled one of Apollo's nymphs, I came to a tree. Its trunk wide enough for me to hide behind. I held my breath and peeked around it so that only one eye would behold what most mortals never see. I did not want to be greedy, only it was not nymphs. It was the most beautiful woman I had ever seen. Their hair, twined with ivy, cascaded down their backs, and when they spoke, jewels spilled from their mouths as if it was the most natural thing in the world. And where they pressed down on the grass with their finger, a fountain of wine sprang up. Another set her thyrsus on the ground, and it turned into an apple tree. The apples as golden as honey. And speaking of honey, that flowed out of their palms as they stretched them up to the sky during their strange dance, calling out to him, this Dionysus. And it was then that I saw them, my lamb and mother. Though I do not you only concerned with eating the fresh grass so that she may produce more milk for her lamb, wandered into the middle of their dance. Well, within seconds, the woman descended on her, ripping her flesh like it was pieces of parchment. Their faces were the picture of pure ecstasy. And the lamb took no notice of this as it was being suckled at the breast of a young woman. Oh, I could not bear to look upon them any longer. But this I have to say, it is why I have come. One of the women I recognized as Agave, and during the tragic dance, I heard her call out to her sisters. I know, and a ton away. I was near tears, and still am to have to bring you this news.
Your tears will not shame you here. It is as I suspected, and I am neither surprised nor ashamed, though I fear for them. My grandson has sent an army against them.
Then we should sacrifice to Dionysus immediately. The army will be no match for them. I do not want the vengeance of Olympus upon me. I have a family that needs me. Poor as we may be, I must provide for them.
So must I.
So, this is the great Phrygian who has taken it upon himself to attack my city. Why, you are nothing more than a pretty boy. Come to woo the women of Thebes, have you? What? Nothing to say? Or is it only to women that you will speak? Would you like to speak to your friend, the prophet?
Why have I been brought here? I have done nothing to cause you grief.
Have you not? I've been told you have encouraged our women to flee into the hills, to go hide in the bushes and wait for the gods to arrive.
I think, Pentheus,
I'm king here.
that my arrival here has set your mind racing, and your dark desires are being released, much to the danger of us all.
The only danger here is you, boy. Did you not know the penalty for impersonating a god is death? Since I represent the gods of Thebes, I will not argue against that penalty. Your women will be sent back to the brothels in their own country.
Your generosity is an inspiration to others.
Do they not embarrass you? Or are all Phrygian women left to become so wild? I will not allow such influence on our good women of Thebes.
Yes?
The guard captain has returned from Keithron.
It is good to see you have been reinstated to your former position, Veronicus.
What familiarity is this? How is it the stranger knows your name? You know him?
Him? No.
Yes. We met at the foot of Keithron. He accosted the prophet.
You said nothing of this to me. I was led to believe Tiresias was alone.
I assumed he was.
You assumed?
I thought he was with a woman.
You thought? Do you not know the difference between a man and a woman?
He is, as you said, a sorcerer.
But you did not report this to me. You knew he was to be arrested, and yet you simply ignored my orders and let the prophet be blamed.
I didn't know it.
And where would Thebes be if I did not know it? I should have never reinstated you. You are deceitful and blind, too, obviously. I do not tolerate being lied to. Take him out of the city and hang him from the first branch you can find.
No! Pentheus, you're wrong in this!
I am never wrong. And free the prophet.
King Pentheus, thank the gods.
What is it?
The women have attacked us. We had them cornered, their backs against the mountain. We ordered them to return to the city. They refused. We did not strike them, nor move as if to strike. One of them picked up a boulder, one that would take 3 of us men to lift, and threw it, crushing one of the men. And they headed straight for us, trampling us like insects, all the while calling out to this Dionysus. This is the work of the new god. It is too much.
should not take up arms against him.
Nonsense! If this madness is a god, then he should show his face right here in front of me. But he has not. He sends a boy while he skips around the hills like a nymph, playing that power. He has given the women some potion that is causing them to be corrupted.
Then he has doubly offended you. Your mother and aunts were among the women.
Impossible. She would not defy my authority.
It was she who tossed the boulder.
This is not the work of some half-god. It is a test from Olympus. Apollo seeks to test our resolve in the face of impiety.
The gods only test those they love most.
Be quiet, no one is addressing you.
Why are you so angry, Pentheus?
When there are charlatans such as you, seeking to deceive good people at every turn, have the people of Phrygia tired of your antics and you seek new fertile ground? Well, you'll not find it here. Who are your parents that we can send for to come and fetch you?
My mother, whom you once called dear aunt, is buried just outside the palace. My father, Zeus, resides on Olympus.
Now you are laying claim to the blood of a god? They will rip you to pieces. You are nothing. Nothing!
Speak for yourself. You have the blood of a god in you, do you not? Son of Echion, born of the dragon's teeth?
Do not inflict your foul beliefs upon me. Take him away. Let him suffer the fate assigned to the prophet. And cut off his hair. He hunts after Aphrodite. The very sight of it nauseates me.
If I were you, I would reconsider. If you do not want the wrath of Olympus upon Thebes, then embrace Dionysus.
And cut out his tongue. Send more men up to keep throwing the sword and shield. Thebes does not bend to the will of drunken women. Why?
Pentheus! Pentheus! Come! Your bride has arrived.
Let me
She's waiting.
Let me sleep.
No. Is that any way for a king to treat his new queen? Your people are waiting for you. Do not let them down, Pentheus.
This wine is
fit for a king on his wedding day.
I'm married today? Where's my bride?
Already prepared.
My crown. Yes. Where is she, this wonderful bride?
Waiting in the grove, of course. Shall we go?
Yes. And my grandfather, he will want to be there.
All of Thebes is there now, ready to celebrate with you.
King Pentheus! Where's the king?
We don't know. We arrived to an empty throne. What has happened?
The sorcerer has escaped along with his women.
How? Have you sent your men after them?
Perhaps Pentheus knows this and is pursuing them.
Unlikely. I will seek out Cadmus. Perhaps he is with him.
Oh, where's my fortunate bride, the bearer of future kings?
Be patient, Pentheus. She is being ready.
Then I will take some more of the delicious wine.
You are enjoying my wine?
Who are you?
I am a priest, come to perform the ceremony.
And these women?
Are the bridesmaids? Are you ready?
I am priest. I am.
Pentheus, behold your wife. Behold the future of Thebes.
He has done it. Thebes will die now.
His sorrow blinds him to the truth.
He is afraid of change. Once a great family, the backbone of Poetia crumbled under the might of Olympus.
There is still greatness in them. Their pride may repair some of the damage, if Pentheus embraces Dionysus.
No, he has made his choice. He embraces death.
Pentheus? What is going on here? My gods, Pentheus. Look at the state you're in.
What is this?
It was on your head. You reek of wine.
What do you want? Any more of this to the others and I will slice you up myself and feed you to the dogs.
The sorcerer and his women have escaped.
Impossible. There's deceit in this. Bring me the guard who is on duty.
I was among those on duty, my king.
You? You set them free?
I swear by Apollo I did not. I heard nor saw nothing suspicious. I was awake all night. And in the morning the cell was empty.
Then it must have been the prophet.
I've sent some men to his house, but my guess is he's returned to Kithron.
Then send out more men. Horses, arrows, swords, whatever it takes. I want this blasphemer begging for mercy at my feet before sunset. And take this. Toss it into the fire on your way.
I will, my king.
Take up arms against this god and Olympus will destroy us.
So, he has corrupted you too. I had counted on you to support me. If Thebes does not take a stand against this...
What do you know of Thebes? You do not walk its streets. You hide behind the palace walls playing matchmaker when your city needs you.
Since when do you care what I do with my time? If you miss the feel of a throne so badly, why do you not find yourself another kingdom to rule? Because I will not return this one to you!
May the gods have mercy on you, Pentheus. Hold there!
Cadmus, what is it? Has Pentheus changed his mind?
No, nothing like that. Are you headed to the temple?
I am.
I also. Shall I take that for you? Perhaps you'd rather be preparing your men.
To tell you the truth, I wouldn't mind being relieved of the duty. The temple is out of my way. It disheartens me to take up arms against these women. I do not understand it, but the gods have their ways of testing us.
They certainly do.
Is it safe?
It is. I have it here in my hand. You have not been in trouble then?
No, the gods tire of me and I of them. I cannot and will not lead them to their prey. I do not want their deaths on my conscience. Made by the god's own hand, wear it with pride.
Shall we go?
Yes, and quickly. My time to enjoy the fruits of the god is coming to an end. Soon, I will have to be carried around like a politician's wife.
Tell me how you escaped our prison.
I told you my God would set me free.
In truth, it was no god, but the hand of a man. Let us stop with your pretense. Your boasting grates on my nerves.
Then perhaps you should take some wine to calm them.
I have no desire to be poisoned.
Cousin, I am not here to poison you.
We are no relation to each other. Speak of it again and I will separate your head from your body. I had it in mind to be merciful,
I
but...
see.
No! I do not believe you do. You have offended the gods by inducing the women of our respected city to debase themselves, while you bask in what you perceive to be a personal victory over our established practices. You cannot spit in the face of the gods and expect they will not respond. You cannot walk into a city merely because you like the look of it and try to walk away with its heart. I am the heart of the city, and I answer to the gods, therefore you answer to me. Where is your god now? Have him manifest before us to rescue you. Let us see his true power. Does your god look like you? Is this what we should fashion ourselves after, for the men to look like the women? How will the women know who their husband is? How will the children know who their father is? Your supposed god wants us to live in a state of confusion. That is not a mortal god. It is a lazy god, full of himself and nothing to offer the people but chaos. Thebes does not need to suffer your hideous presence any longer. Our women will return to their hearts, chaste and forgiven by their husbands. And any memory of you will soon fade from the minds of the people you tried to destroy.
Impressive words, but you are wrong. Your women have remained chaste in my rights. I have never tormented the people of Thebes, nor do I seek to do this. Thebes is my birthright. I am the heart of the people that you ignore. You offer them nothing but wars and fancy dress, thinking to outshine Athens. It does not provide relief for the families whose men die in the seams of the earth. You are not a king any god approves of. You are a coward who sends other men to face what you cannot.
I will have your head to decorate my palace wall. Guards! Guards!
How is your new wife? I heard it was a somber ceremony. Your grandfather did not attend, nor your mother. Have you told them the news?
What new tale are you spinning now? Lost your touch?
I have never seen a bride so happy to be wed.
Has some Athenian dog put you up to this? Hoping that I would abandon my throne and run off into the hills? We are not weak. My people do not scatter when the fear is upon them. They would tear you apart, limb from limb, if I gave them the order to do so. Now, let these be the final words you hear before you die. Thebes is mine.
Then yours it shall be. I can see now there is no place for my God here. I had got to show Thebes a new path to peace and freedom, but it appears you have already done this. All I have left is to toast your success. You have passed Olympus's test. Champion of Olympus, Thebes is secure in your hands. To Pentheus, true king of Thebes, champion of Olympus, Apollo's favored son, will you share this wine with me? A small sacrifice, I think, that will not bring your ruin. Come, let us part as friends.
Friends? I can barely tolerate your presence. This game of yours, was it the great Cadmus himself who paid you? Miserly old fool. Test of Olympus indeed. The gods have never needed to test my loyalty.
I came here of my own accord. My agenda my own, and it is still unfinished. I would see us part ways as cousins, if not in blood, then in spirit. And to any who question it, I will tell them that so loved is the king that no man could ever tear him away from their hearts.
You speak the truth, sorcerer, despite your pretty tongue. You have seen firsthand what becomes of those who covet what the gods have granted me. I was prepared to show you no mercy, yet Apollo bids me to offer mercy. I will drink with you, and we shall part amicably. This wine, these grapes must grow on the vines of Olympus. I've tasted this before, have I? We must have this wine in Thebes. Stranger, I will grant you land and slaves if it means you will produce this in great quantity. This is indeed the wine of kings, and you will be a very wealthy man. Are you a man or a woman? Oh, yes. Yes, this is mine. I need more wine. We must celebrate. You and I, we have much to do. What are you doing? And where is my wife? I married her, but she has disappeared. Where is she? Is she hiding?
No one hides from the king. Now, brave king, are you ready to witness the divine?
I am brave, aren't I?
Yes, very. The books will tell of none braver.
Oh, where are we going?
To Kithron, to find your bride.
I need to tell my mother.
She is already there, waiting to embrace you.
She will know I have been drinking.
Yes, and she will be pleased.
Pentheus! King Pentheus is dead! You there! Send for help! Where is Cadmus? Or the seer Tiresias? Ask him what he knows of this terrible event!
What event do you speak of?
Our king is dead. Pentheus died in the arms of his mother. She murdered him.
You are mistaken. Agave
Is a monster! I have seen my men die in the hands of an unforgiving enemy.
In all my life, I've never seen such ferocity as this.
The gods do not discriminate when they are angry.
There! Do you hear that? Do you hear it?
I hear nothing.
Yes, the women. Only they are not women. They are the gods' weapons. Cadmus! Ah, I should have gone with you to the temple to pray for the rescue of Thebes from the vengeance of Olympus.
There's blood on your hands. Whose is it?
Mine. And I want it known. I followed the king's orders and carried out his plan, ignorant of the outcome. Last night, we positioned ourselves near to, but not directly threatening the women. We had extra sword and shield. None of us wanted to use them. What man could forgive himself if, in the heat of battle, he struck true, found his wife slain at the end of his sword? It weighed heavy on our hearts, but we had our orders. Our eyes were fixed on every movement of branch or snap of twig, waiting for a sign they had detected we were there. It was then that we heard shouting. We moved closer and saw what had excited them. There, at the edge of the circle, stood the young priest that Pentheus had imprisoned, and I myself had turned the key. He was speaking to the women. He stood there, naked, as if he was their lover. He pointed up to the tree, and there was our beloved king, tied to the top branch, like a frightened cat. Women were like wild beasts. They rushed to the tree, calling Pentheus a wondrous sacrifice. Pentheus called down to his mother. She would not respond. The women pounded the earth with their heels. The earth rippled violently under our feet, knocking us to our knees. I looked up. How I wish the gods would have cursed me with blindness. The women had picked the tree up by its roots and were shaking it violently until our beloved king tumbled down, crashing to the ground, broken. Agave cradled the body, and I thought for a moment she would recognize him, now that he was in her arms. But instead, she stood up and dragged him behind her. They got to the center of the grove. She lifted him up by the neck and held him over the fire. He made one last attempt to flail at her frayed face, but she was unswayed. She grabbed his arms and legs. She called out to Ino and Atonaway to grab his arms and legs, and twisted and tore his head from his body.
Gods, Pentheus, the heart of Thebes. What next? Will Dionysus not rest until he has killed us all?
He has avenged his mother's honor.
But it is not over. Once she had the head in her hands, she stuck it atop her thyrsus and thrust it high into the air. The others stopped fighting over the remains and toasted to Agave, calling her the illustrious one, favored by the gods. It was then that my men decided to attack. We advanced quickly. We were not prepared for the sight of our king's distorted head on the end of a stick. We faltered. The women were on us instantly. We drew our swords, and I know that I made contact with one of them. They received no wounds. Yet their blows, precise, unrelenting. They tore one of my men in half. I could take no more, and crawled out of the chaos and hid, listening to the sounds of my men dying. I was so ashamed. When it was over, I heard them planning to return to Thebes to boast over their fine kill. But I was determined to beat them to it. I see now that I have. It won't be long now. There they are! They will trample us down! They will rip us apart!
So blessed is the daughter of Artemis, all of Olympus rejoices at the sight of her.
Citizens of Thebes, I have returned from the hunt with the head and the skin of a great beast. You there, old man, go and tell your king I have the finest lion pelt in all Boeotia.
Does my own daughter not know me?
She does not know herself. The madness is still upon her.
Agave, daughter, look at me.
I have no desire to look upon you, unless it is to strike your face if you do not do as I ask.
I cannot fetch the king.
Why not? Is it because you are jealous of our trophy? If I had known we would receive such a cold reception, I would have taken my kill to Athens. They know a fine pelt when they see one. King, you are being summoned. Show yourself. Do not be afraid. We are but a few women who have been out at the hunt. The gods have blessed us. Come and see.
Agave, do you not recognize your home?
My home? My home is Kithron.
No, your home is here, in Thebes, with us.
Oh, what trick is this? You seek to steal my prize and wave it in front of the king as your own.
Do you know the king's name? Do you know who rules here? Agave, please, the god is still within you. You must fight against him.
I will fight against nothing. I'm the blessed daughter of Artemis, chosen by Dionysus himself to lead the hunt. While you men coveted the brothels and paddled in your baths, we women slept out in the open, taking the blood of a lamb upon us so that this beast might come to us, thinking to sink his teeth into soft flesh. When finally he came, he had the arrogance to think he could hide in a tree and pounce on us from above. When he saw us, he quivered in the tree, his claws fixed so deeply in the bark he could not use them. Well, we shook the ground, and we lifted the tree, and down he came at our feet, his dark eyes wide with fear, his sharp teeth glistening in the moonlight. I think he was smiling, knowing that soon he would be grazing the fields on Olympus. For what animal would not rejoice when the hand of Artemis strikes true? A fitting sacrifice for a wealthy king, is it not? What is this? If this is what I think it is, then you are too late. I have returned with a gift for the king. I will receive the accolade first. For once the sacrificial rite falls into the woman's hand and you men cannot abide the sting of it. Fetch their offering and dump it over the wall.
Touch these remains and I'll cut your heart out. Stop this desecration of my house. There's been enough blood shed this day. Now, Otame, step back. Daughter, desist. Oh, stop, Agave, stop. Otame, please step back.
You are my father.
Do you know where you are?
We are home. What has happened? Have we been attacked?
No, you have been at Kithaeron.
Kithaeron? For what purpose was I in such a place?
Tell her! Tell her how she killed our beloved king. All for Dionysus.
Dionysus?
I saw you! All of you laughed as you tore his limbs apart and peeled the skin from his body. You let this god take you over, and he used you over and over. Like a common horse! You're doomed! The gods despise us! We are cursed!
I am not. I could not be such a monster. Did he speak the truth? I have done this. This I remember now. I remember. Oh, my son. My beautiful son, the hope of Thebes. How could the gods allow this? Dionysus, it was you! Dionysus, I call you out of your vile hiding place, you deceitful, impious beast!
Agave, hold your raging tongue. It was he who you called out into the rites.
Then I shall call out to him again.
It's too late. Cannot bring back the dead. It is to your sister, Semele, that you should beg forgiveness.
Semele, I brought great shame upon us, Father. My beautiful son, the sacrifice for our misdeeds. Our pride wounded Semele deeply, and her unborn child, now fully grown, now fully avenged. Pentheus did not deserve this. We did not deserve this.
Take it away.
No. I will do it. I will do it.
Pity. I feel pity for the living.
Poor Cadmus. I can no longer look upon the face of him.
Nor I.
You, who slew the dragon and created a race of infallible warriors. You were blessed with a wife of the gods and gave us the gift of speech. Yet you could not persuade your own flesh and blood to take the path of peace. Who are you now, old man?
A sorrowful father, warrior no longer, administrator of a ruined city.
Will you come with us to Elysium?
An easy choice to make. One I cannot follow. We will take our exile in Illyria. I shall appoint Pentheus and Lycus as regents.
Murderers!
We're all murderers of one thing or another, are we not? But it is for the gods to decide our fate. We have little room to move around in it. Never has there been such misery in our fine city. The pillars of courage that once held it so high have crumbled. I'm at a loss for soothing words. Our minds are too small to understand the will of Olympus. We are only mortal, children of Prometheus. No match for the gods.
Many great houses have suffered at the hands of the gods. It is not their will that we should falter at each step. There is no golden stairway to their bosom. It is only our honoring them that they demand. If we dare to put ourselves above them, they will push us back down.
Prophet, Dionysus has left us.
No, I sense his business here is not yet over.
But he promised to free us.
We were his eyes and ears. We betrayed our home.
Elysium will shun us now.
You have betrayed no one. The living destroy themselves by hiding from the dead, by not listening to those who have gone before. What you witnessed here could not be stopped. From chaos we came, took breath, and then took hold. And in chaos we remain until we are called home. Come then, I will lead you to its door. My time is no longer of this world. Together, we will cross the river Styx and drink from the crystal waters on the Isle of the Blessed.
Leave me be! I deserve none of this.
We are all guilty, sister.
It was I who stole them. The killing blow was mine.
The gods will show compassion. Dionysus does not act for all Olympus.
The gods have turned their backs.
Hush, Demetria. Do not speak such nonsense. They know we need them.
I will take exile with you, Agave. I will help to carry the burden?
No, child. You cannot carry this. I will not allow my shame to touch your family. And do not seek to disobey me in this. I am a murderer of men. It is a curse that only I have the right to bear.
And then it falls to us too. We can go to Delphi and offer our services to the temple.
You will do nothing. I understand your kindness in this. But you weaken me with it. Once you were my strength. Do not stray from that path.
Then what are we to feel if not the same remorse as you? We moved as one this day. Our fate the same as yours.
But you, sister, did not stand in front of him. His eyes were not on you. They were on me. And I didn't even recognize them. I should have known him, my own son.
Dionysus betrayed us.
Thebes betrayed him.
And he acts like a selfish child. There's nothing of the gods' work in this. I want nothing more to do with them.
Demetria.
Forgive me.
Take these to the temple and pray to Hera for forgiveness and guidance. Aina, go with her and comfort her.
Shall I fetch you some wine?
No, I will have no more of that cursed grape until Thebes is no longer in sight.
Agave, out of all of us, it is you who has made our father most proud. Semele cannot curse you from the grave now that she has seen how you have suffered for her cause. When the god was in me, I saw many things. I saw my future, and death awaits me too. I will have a son, as you did, but the gods will take him. This knowledge I must live with, for I cannot change it. We ask the gods for their gifts, just one small piece of their greatness, yet when we receive it, we like not what we see. I do not possess the same strength as you. You who we all looked up to. Agave, wife of Bacchae, great warrior of Thebes. Agave the blessed. No one could have foreseen this. When the gods want us to suffer, nothing stands in their way. Even the fates keep spinning.
Pentheus made this for me. His first one. He was 9. He was so pleased with himself. He picked out the gold himself, the stone. His hands were so small. Bury this next to Semele. Then she will know that I have accepted her son Dionysus as the son of Zeus. And will never dishonor her again. Now go and bring me something other than wine. I knew you would come.
I could not stay away.
What more do the gods want? left to give.
Your womb is still young. I can give you another son.
I would die first before I would allow you to enter me again. What will you do? Call upon your great father and force me to do it? Any offspring of such a union would know what cruelty lay ahead and bury its face in a pillow.
The child of a god would not suffer such a fate.
Then how is it I look upon one now and see nothing but envy and contempt in your eyes? These are mortal traits. So tell me, what are they doing on the face of a god?
You insult my mother, your sister, with these words.
One of us could have been your mother. Have we been silly enough to allow ourselves to be corrupted by a god? Semele was a simple creature. Zeus picked on her because he knew she would not put up a fight. He would impress her with his great power.
You know nothing of it.
It was you that killed her. Had you not been in her womb, she would still be with us, happy and loved. You are not a peace-loving god. You only desire to torture us mortals who only want to please you. My son saw this clearly, but you could not accept it.
Pentheus was not fit to be a king.
And you are not fit to be a god. Is that why you always seek to destroy us? Because we are your weakness?
You are the pride of Olympus. Mortals rule our hearts.
Then you should worship us, sacrifice to us. But instead you lay traps, fill our wounds without pity, and seek vengeance when it suits you. Has Olympus grown so tired of our love for them that they must vie for sadistic entertainment?
You cannot survive without us.
We cannot survive with you. We have always trusted you, sought your favor at every turn, waged wars, sacrificed our children, our blood, our fields, built temples so that you would reside among us. And still, you seek to punish us for it. We can never do enough. But I have done enough for you this day, and I see it has not brought you joy. You have taken my life, and still you want more. Has our servitude to Olympus become invisible to all of you? Has it? Consider that the day will come when we no longer want to honor you or cry out to you when we are frightened or hungry. Perhaps today is the day that the throne of Olympus will crumble, and you are nothing to me now but a memory. For it will come to pass that the world, that those who come after me will know of this deceit Dionysus, and not just in Thebes, but everywhere mortals travel. Curse upon you then, that this day, this moment be your last. You wanted Thebes, now you will never be free from it. I strike at the core of you, and I take your life, as you have taken mine. And the next time your name is uttered, it will not be in ecstasy, but will come from the mouths of strangers who will laugh in your face when they hear the story about a boy who thought he was a god.
Agave?
Yes?
It is time. Father is waiting.
Sister, do you think that our path to exile will be free of angry spirits seeking revenge or assassins waiting to take what little we have left?
I don't know.
We are alone in this then.
Yes. But we have each other. We have a future. Come. There is nothing more for us here.
Promise me that when your son is born, you will take him far from the eyes of Olympus, so that he will not suffer our same fate. Fear Olympus will not stop, and do not let them win.
Oh, dear sister, do not stay in this darkness. You must find a way to forgive yourself of these horrible deeds. For all of us,